Friends, welcome in this new session. As in my earlier session, I have discussed about rhesus factor. So now the last topic of the circulatory system is left, which is your lymphatic system. Now, what is lymphatic system, right? Lymphatic system, if I talk about, so apart from circulatory system, there is lymphatic system in our body. Now, lymphatic system consists of lymph. So, when I talk about lymph, LYMPH, when I talk about lymph, so what do we mean by lymph? Lymph is basically, you can say, a tissue fluid. It is a tissue fluid which consists of infection fighting white blood cells, right? Which consists of infection fighting white blood cells. So when the blood reaches the capillaries, some of the water and dissolved solutes are filtered out from the plasma to form into tissue spaces, and then they form a tissue fluid known as lymph. So this tissue fluid is known as lymph. What it is known as? This tissue fluid is known as lymph. Now lymph enters tiny channels known as lymph vessels. Lymph enters tiny channels known as lymph vessels. Now what happens is that lymph basically have all elements of blood except the RBCs and blood platelets. Except the RBCs and the blood platelets. Except the RBCs and the blood platelets. So you can see over here, this is the complete diagram of lymphatic system, and lymphatic system which is there, this is also a very important system, as this system have various functions. As you can see in the diagram over here, your transportation is there, defense is there, and drainage is there, right? So this is the diagram. Now lymph, if I talk about lymph vessels are basically a lymph. It is slightly yellowish in color. The lymph which is there, it is slightly yellowish in color. Why it is yellowish in color, I have already told, because it is not having RBCs and blood platelets. Now lymphatic system consists of a lymphatic system consists of a very special lymphatic system consists of a very special fighting white blood cells known as lymphocytes, right? Now lymphatic system consists of two things: lymph vessels and lymph nodes. Over here are your lymph nodes, right? Now lymph vessels resemble veins due to thin walls and presence of valves. What does lymph vessels do? Lymph vessels resemble the veins due to thin walls and presence of valves. And lymph nodes are small globular masses. You can see these are small globular masses of lymphatic tissue. So now let me discuss about its major three functions, that is your transportation. First I will discuss about transportation, right? What is transportation? Lymph also helps in transporting nutrients and hormones to the body cells. It also removes waste materials from the body cells into veins. Lymph nodes produce lymphocytes, right? Lymph carries lymphocytes and antibodies from the lymph nodes back to the blood, and it also absorbs or transfers fats such as fatty acids and glycerol from the small intestine to the blood. Defense. Apart from transportation, lymph also helps in defense at whatever foreign body will enter inside your blood. So lymph will pick up that bacteria and it will transfer it to the lymph node, and lymph node will destroy it. Lymph nodes also helps in localizing infection. Drainage. Lymph drains excess tissue fluid from the intercellular spaces back to the blood, and intercellular spaces are basically spaces surrounded by the cells and most of the tissues, right? So with this, our this topic is finished, and one important more thing I have to tell you about tonsils, right? Now, tonsils are also important. Tonsils are actually two lymph nodes located on the either side of the back of the throat. They also help in localizing infection. That is why if there is any type of swelling in your tonsils, it means that there is some infection. So with this, our circulatory system chapter is finished. In my next video, I will discuss about some important topics of sciences. By the time, thank you and Jai Jagat. Have a nice day.